Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel, and we're gonna have some fighting words. So, good news. I told you I would keep you posted and just follow the news as it comes along. It looks like AJ and Tyson Fury. Now there are a lot of bidders just trying to bid on the fight. So either way, I feel like the fight is definitely happening, and it could be sooner rather than later. I don't think we're gonna wait another year or anything like that. So I listened to an interview from Frank Warren, who is the promoter for Tyson Fury, and he said, we're getting some bidders, and it looks like, now we're just getting, basically we're in a stage where, because we already know that both of them have signed the contract, check. So right now what we're trying to do is just get the bidders, and because now you got to pay both of these guys. They're both superstars in the sport, so they have to get a certain amount of money. So also we need to know where we're going to have this thing. I still believe it's going to be somewhere in the Middle East. I'm thinking Saudi Arabia, something like that. There's probably going to be some Saudi prince who's going to throw up like a crazy amount of money, something like that. We also have an unofficial name, which is the Battle of the Brits, which I think is pretty cool. And it's fitting. I mean, I don't know how you would necessarily name it that if it's not in Britain. I mean, I guess you can just say, hey, it's two Britons fighting. But still, I think it will hold a lot more weight if it were in Britain. But you got to go where the money is. And if the money's in Saudi Arabia, we're going to Saudi Arabia. And either way, that's still good news for me. Number one, I'm an American. And number two, I just want to see the fight. So I'm still a fan at the end of the day. I just want to see the fight. So whoever's got the money, whoever has the dough, put it up and let's go. Frank also did mention one other thing that I thought was really interesting. So aside from that, which I feel like is good news because it's progress, and that's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear some stagnant, we don't know, which is what we've heard for a while. We don't know what's going on, or we're waiting to hear. So it is good news and there's progress. But there is something else that is at least interesting. I don't know if you'd say it's good news, but I think it's interesting. So on the undercard will be Alexander Usyk versus Joe Joyce. And they will be fighting on the undercard, supposedly, according to Frank Warren, of Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I think it's interesting. I think it's kind of cool. I also think that's kind of probably their way of setting up whoever wins the AJ Fury fight will be going up against the winner of this fight, which is also, again, kind of cool. You're going to have all the guys in the same building, and maybe, after, let's say, I'm believing that AJ is going to win. I'm sorry, I just kind of am. I'm also going to be sending another video on why I think AJ has something up his sleeve that Tyson doesn't have. So be on the lookout for that. But let's just say AJ wins after the fight, since you will have the winner of Usyk and Joe Joyce in the building. You can bring them on in. They can get in the ring and they can do something special for the crowd and get the crowd pumped up for the next fight that we know is going to happen. Because by then, whoever is the winner between Usyk and Joe Joyce, it'll be decided already by the time Tyson and AJ are at the end of their fight. So I think that would be pretty great. If it's Joe Joyce, I think it'd be really great, just simple because it's kind of like staying in-house. AJ and Fury are British, and you have Joe Joyce who's British, so it would kind of just stay in-house. Not to mention, it would be fun to play to the crowd. I'm assuming there will be a lot of Brits flying over if it is in Saudi Arabia or some Middle Eastern country. But I think it would be fun to play to the crowd, to have, again, two big Brits in the ring and saying, you're next, and, I'm ready, and I'm just that good old banter that we like to hear. However, if it's Usyk, then, you're going to need an interpreter, and, he'll do that Usyk smile where it's like, I believe I'm going to win, but I'm not going to say so, that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm leaning toward Joe Joyce in that fight. I will be making a video for that as well, just breaking down that fight and saying what the pros and cons are in terms of just fighting styles and who will win. But yeah, so tell me what you think down below. Drop a comment, and as always, like and subscribe.